Yeah.
Tristan, what are we doing here?
Oh, we're just having a nice little conversation about filmmaking today.
Is it?
Yeah.
Things about that
Things
stuff.
filmmaking.
Yeah.
Things about filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about filmmaking. Are you passionate about filmmaking?
Yeah, just watch our video. We talk all about it.
Talk all about our passion of filmmaking.
I'm
Whoa,
excited
That
to
was
be
a
here.
passionate yawn.
I know. You need this double shot espresso too, dude.
I'm
Yeah.
down it right now, boy.
No. No, you won't. You'd have one sip and be like, "Ah."
Well,
Yeah.
I'd take one sip and be in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh, whatever.
Hell,
It's
coffee.
not that bad.
Water is a good substitute. Water is the best drink.
What the hell are we doing here?
Who are we? What do we do?
I don't know. I'm just here.
Roll the intro.
Oh, no. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a new episode of Triflix Cast, the show with me, your co-host, Bing Bong.
As soon as you started to say that, I don't know, hot ones popped in my head. I almost was like, the show with hotter wings and even hotter questions.
I'm Sean Pepper, and this is my co-host, Evan Hot Wings.
Chili Klaus.
Chili Claps.
Klaus.
Oh, Chili Claus.
I watched too much of that stuff.
And our Jamie.
Yep. But we don't do anything with hot peppers or hot wings or celebrities. We just make films, right?
Yeah, we're a bunch of video boys in here, some photo boys.
Bunch of photo nerds.
Doing some media work for clients, and then in our free time we just riff on whatever we want.
Yeah. When we should be sleeping.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Me too, man. David, how are you feeling?
I'm kind of tired too.
Yeah.
Tristan and I were out, or I was biking. Tristan was longboarding.
Yeah, because I got a new toy.
We got a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were out late last night just enjoying the beautiful evening sky. It was like a cool 70 degrees. It wasn't too humid.
Oh, that's perfect.
It was
And we were
nice.
just
It was really good.
coasting around downtown.
That's fantastic. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, you should move here.
Talking about it. We'll see.
You have to buy
Doubt
your
it.
house.
We've talked about it before. It's been in the discussions. The wife would be happy to move to Columbus.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset. I'm here enough now.
Yep.
But speaking of being exhausted and talking about work and what we do and all that stuff, you know what? We've been talking about this. It's a great segue into let's talk a little bit about the business and kind of what we've been up to and work-life balance and things like that and growing pains. I figured we could do a little update.
Yeah,
You good with that?
Yeah.
So we've been working our butts off.
Yeah. I got no butt.
No butt is
Oh, man.
gone.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
How do you sit?
You can't anymore.
Yeah, because
You
we're
have-
just always on our feet working.
Yeah, right. Except we
Oh my
work. We
gosh.
work on our butts.
Yeah.
Just depends.
So what do you want to say about that?
So for those, let's see here.
What's your point?
No. So my point in bringing this up is I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree. I think there's the line is being blurred a little bit more now. I think people are using social media and kind of explaining things, but most of what we see is the success. You know, hey, I accomplished this. Hey, check this out, which got no issue with that. A lot of that stuff is very motivational. You can learn from it. A lot of people will talk about their journey, but most of the time you see the success. So not that we're not feeling some of the success. We're working on it. Things are going pretty well. So we're excited about that. We're growing, having to figure some of those things out. But while we grow, there are the growing pains. And for those of you that maybe are thinking about starting a business and haven't, or if you're just the intro of starting one, I just think it's very nice for somebody to be like, hey, you know what? It's not all rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. Some of it is hard and it's taxing, and we're working our way through it right now. We're kind of in the thick of it. So I think we can be a good source of advice when it comes to some of these things. Because
what type of things?
Well, I was always one that was looking down on some people that were always like, you gotta be on that grind. You gotta get up at 4 a.m. and you gotta do this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I get it. But I think there's a balance. But I'm starting to see now that sometimes that grind just organically works its way because you go, if I don't push hard, I might not be able to grow my business, or I might not be able to grow it as fast as I would like to. But if I do, there are adverse effects to that as well.
You're getting blinded.
The sun is shining right in my
You can scoot this way like a half inch, because the sun will go over your shoulder.
In the studio right now, there's like this pane of glass. Tristan has like 9-10 foot ceilings. They might be more than that.
They're 12.
I was like, they're high. Yeah. I've never looked up in here. But there's a window up there that is uncovered, and it was shining the sun right in my. I'm getting teary-eyed, guys, talking about this.
It's a really pretty window.
It is a pretty window. It's like stained glass, so you got to be here to see it.
Yeah.
But
it's not that great.
But no, so we're seeing some of the adverse effects. The taking a toll on trying to figure out, hey, like it'd be nice to have some downtime, but then you want to continue to make money, grow business. That fine line's hard, and I don't know. I mean, I think my main reasoning for saying this is like, hey, think about this. This happens, and it pays to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it does.
Well, yeah. I mean,
we're seeing that right now. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing the growth happen, and it's working out well. And I think a good example is like with the real estate photography. We have not really advertised outwardly. I mean, we're doing some stuff social. But a lot of that's been word of mouth or being found, through other people. So, that's continued to grow, and we haven't really done much else, to really push it, monetize it, whatever, throw ads out there, do all those types of things. So it's been interesting to see that grow, and then just like go, okay, oh, wow, I'm to the point now where I'm having to think about trying to offload parts of the process, streamline the process. Maybe it's equipment, maybe it's this, that. You start to think about it differently because you're like, oh gosh, now I'm shooting 3 or 4 shoots a day and trying to edit them and working 12, 13 hour days. And I had a day the other day that's like wake up, work, and then go to bed. I was like, okay, that's new.
it's exhausting.
Yeah. Like Tristan just yawned again. So
I'm sleepy.
And we're not trying to like be down on this whole process. Like we're very passionate about what we do. We love what we do. I think I could speak for all of us here. That it's very awesome to be able to step back and you get the feedback from the client, or, you do see some of the monetary, positive, the monetary benefits of some of it start to pay off. And you're like, oh my gosh, wow, all the legwork that I put in is working out. So there's benefits to it, but it's like, just be ready for that point in time. And I think that also helps to weed out the people that aren't ready for the next step. So.
Yeah, so Tristan, you've been growing your business, and like you both kind of converged into making your own and owning Triflix and like working together. So how has things changed for you from like the start of your venture till now? What are like some compared to like what Cole just went into? What are some things that are like that stick out?
Well,
what have changed?
A lot's changed, and
you have a new best friend.
Yeah. What more could I ask for? So when I started out, I knew the limitations of how much work I could take in, and I had a client that wanted 40 hours a week with me. So anything over that, I knew would be extending myself thinner and thinner, because I don't think 40-hour work week's a great model, but I think for most people, it is kind of the limit of like a healthy balance. And for some people, it's probably even too much, but I like to work. I enjoy it. I get a lot of energy from doing it. So I started taking on more client work. We brought in David. David started helping out. He did a great job setting up the website initially, probably 3 years ago, and helping out edit some videos here and there, basically just trimming down the bulk of the videos so that I could edit and do my job much more quickly. And then we brought in Ben, and Ben helped trim down a bunch of stuff. And then Ben headed out, and then you came in shortly after that. And we just have had you helping out with trimming the footage, but now I'm helping out with some of the photography occasionally, and you're helping out with some of the video occasionally. So we have pretty much the same workload as before, and we're down a man, but we're splitting the work sort of whenever it comes up. So it's not consistent. Like, you're not always going to have a 60-hour work week. Sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 30. And by working together, we're able to like offset that work. So it's a little more consistent on a weekly basis. And that's probably been the biggest change over the last maybe 2 or 3 years of from the very beginning to growing to expanding.
You brought up a good point that I had not thought about also mentioning. You said you're not always going to work a 60-hour week. Mm-hmm. That's a great point. So a lot of times, and I'm sure other people call it this, but I always call it riding the wave, because you're going to have an ebb and flow when it comes to business. I mean, especially we've all experienced that over COVID. If you have a small business, you saw a business take a dip and then come back up. And now I feel like we're definitely back up on the rise, because there's not a lot of people working, and a lot of people that are still trying to run a business. So it's been nice for us because the people who are working are inundated, which is awesome. But it's like, wow, but we're just trying to ride the wave. So there's going to be plenty of times you're going to be sitting on your thumbs and you're like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Yeah. That's, we don't want to do that. We'll make a habit of doing that. I don't think we have.
No, we haven't.
Past, but
I'm comparing that to the months where we really couldn't do anything. And we used that time. We really did, to work on the website. We used that time to develop processes and, try to organize the business, which is great to have that time to do it.
Yeah. And now we're getting in cold calls, and we're receiving calls. We aren't doing the networking. We're not doing outreach, which, I mean, we do that, yes. But I'm saying in terms of clients coming to us, a lot of them aren't through our own network. It's people that it's not a friend of a friend. It's like 3 friends down the line. Like we'll do a shoot for somebody, and that person talked to somebody else who knew someone else, and then they get sent our way, which is really a good place to be. But I think the workload right now, it's like, are we riding the wave? Like you look at like Bitcoin or any of the like volatile markets, we're not experienced enough to know, are we on an Apple trend where it's like from the time it starts till the time it dies, it has a pretty good projection? Or is it like Bitcoin where one day it's 60,000, the next day it's 10,000? Like that's a huge drop off. So
it's true.
So we're just not really sure how much to invest in expansion versus investing in things that will help us maintain where we are. Yep. No, that's a good point as well, for sure. Because it's like, what do you do? Because we've actually been in talks about possibly hiring someone else to come on and try to help us offload some editing duties, so we can continue to spread the workload. But there's so much. I mean, as a business owner, there's so much to take into consideration when you're talking about bringing on another body. Yeah. Well, I think it sounds like we are. Well, yeah, couple. Yeah. So you wanna talk about our new people? Sure.
We have new people.
We do have, sort of, yes. Not so much new to us. Yeah. But what? So recently, Tristan and I have both had this conversation, and it's funny because we talked about this, and then it all kind of coincided all at the same time again, which was funny because it was just circumstance. But both of our wives have officially put in their 2 weeks notice, and they will be coming home to work with us to try to help offload some of the day-to-day tasks. And for the first time in my life, I'm okay with these types of things happening. I was always very much against. I was like, you can't work with your spouse. Like, you got to have that work-life separation. But I think you have to have the right person. So yeah. Well, to clarify, my wife is not. I don't think she's put in her 2 weeks, and I'm not sure if she's going to. Oh, I thought you told me that. Maybe I'm wrong. She's just dropping. She asked about dropping down hours so that she could study for law school, and then in her free time around that, she's offered to help out with administrative, so managing schedules and things that we really don't have time to do. But yeah, she's really wanting to start going into law, but she said all her free time, I can have it after that. So whoop, whoop. So I'm happy to have someone manage all of the scheduling so we don't miss things ever. Yeah. Not that we do. Never. But we're getting so busy. It's a cautionary thing. We don't ever miss anything. We just might sometimes be behind on something. It's just like I think our response time, right, could be a little shorter.
Yeah.
So, and and part of it is I'll see something come in. So I spend a lot of time in the car, especially right now with real estate shoots. If that's something that tends to go up, that fluctuates with the housing market, and the housing market's crazy right now. So I've been very busy. So that's definitely a wave that you ride. But if I'm in the car and I got 4 or 5 shoots that day, I'm in the car for 4 to 6 hours. And if I get emails or texts and things I want to schedule or work on other projects, it's very hard to catch up on all those things and not die. I was trying to reply to emails today. I'm like, you got to stop. I'm like on the highway. I'm like, nope, you gotta quit this. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to the day when it's like, hey, an email came in, like, let's get this scheduled.
Yeah, that's probably illegal.
What? To write emails in the car?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You were parked, right?
No, I was using my voice.
I'm trying to help. Okay.
Well. I only use voice to text.
Okay. All right. Well, to
edit this part out, don't worry.
I could think that's legal. Talk to text, I guess.
Yes, in Indiana. I don't know what it is otherwise. And again, I don't write these laws. Here's my disclaimer: I'm not a lawyer. I don't write these laws. I'm not a policeman. I don't enforce these laws.
Talk in the car at your own caution.
Yeah. But what I've been told is that if you are using a hands-free device, that is okay. And in my car, I could hit one button, and then assistant comes up, and I can talk to it. So
when that law first came out, it only applied to texting, so people would get pulled over and say they're playing games, and it made it okay. Like the officer's like,
that's even worse.
I know.
I was playing Candy Crush. Sorry, officer.
Yeah,
you're going 120. It's Candy Crush. Oh, you're good.
Yeah. Well, the speeding they probably got pulled over for, but
right.
Yeah. So
duck and weave.
We're growing. We're figuring things out. We're expanding, sort of. With bringing in some people and maybe bringing in some more.
Yeah. So you said Sophie's going to do more administrative stuff.
Yeah.
And then what about
your wife?
Your wife. I almost said Audra. I was going to say Audrey.
Yeah. There you go.
It's like a Freudian slip. It's like I can't say the word I want to say.
It makes me think like, you come in my house, you get my wife's name right. Christina.
Audrey.
Tris and I have talked. Our plan is because, my wife has aspirations of her own. Not that she doesn't wish to help, but she does have ideas and things that she wants to do, which I'm totally supportive of. So I just said, let me know what we can do. But I think she has more interest in the same type of thing. Like, I think Tris and I have talked about it more as like, it's almost kind of like an assistant for yourself. So just to help with like scheduling and emailing and the things that we just can't. It's harder to take your mind off of, an editing project, or if you're on the road to make sure those things are done in a timely manner. So we're kind of setting it up to be along those lines, not so much a 9-to-5 type of thing, but just to take some of the pressure off. And she has asked to do that. So I was like, I'd be happy to help and support. And this is it's a family business.
Right.
That's what we want to be. That's what we are. I mean, that's how we treat each other. And
we're all family.
We're all family here.
Triflix.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
He sounds a little facetious when he says it, but no, we literally are a family. So, what better way to do that than to kind of expand and.
We're like brothers, you're always facetious with your brothers.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're like brothers from other mothers. But for real though. So it's exciting. We're tired, but we're excited. So that keeps us going.
Yeah. Nothing keeps me going quite like watching a good old Peter McKinnon video.
Hey man, you joke, but it makes me excited.
I don't watch his content. I know you do.
Oh my gosh. Like every office tour, I'm just like, I want that. I want the glass and the black walls and
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. What you said, what you wanted. So,
you want to talk about the future? Is that what you're saying?
No, I want to talk about just Peter McKinnon minimalist all of a sudden. So this is, by the time this is coming out, it's not old news, but it's still like a reoccurring thing where this man, he's a big old video boy, and he's not what we want to be, but he does a lot of the things that we do currently on a much bigger scale for more money and more views. And he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I have some aspirations that maybe, again, I'm not trying to emulate the guy but I respect what he does.
And I just happen to like a lot of it, and I want a lot of it.
Yeah.
So in our notes, I had buying gear that is needed versus wanted, and then kind of tangenting off of Peter McKinnon's whole, hey, I got a bunch of gear that I don't use, and then I'm going to get rid of it all, even though it's still good, and he probably could use it for things, but he's like, I don't use it 90% of the time, so it's useless to me.
It was following a trend, and it was clickbaity. I mean, that's all there is to it. It was I'm getting rid of everything. And then he's like, so I'm going to get rid of like all these cameras that I have that I don't use anymore, but I'm going to keep my Red and my R5. And you know what I mean? You're like, okay, like still got like $100,000+ in camera gear. So probably way more than that. I'm just talking about
sponsored
in bodies.
Did some other company buy everything?
It's probably like eBay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's usually sponsored, so I cannot speak to that. But I mean, he even had there's a guy. He's a documentary filmmaker, and he had a Netflix film, and it was like minimalism. And so he kind of had him on and did an interview, and he was talking about going minimalist, which again, straddling the line of really actual minimalism. It was more of like, hey, I don't need all these extra things, which I get. And so we've been doing a little bit of that as well.
Yeah. So I was going to ask,
go for it.
He's downsizing, getting rid of stuff. And I know you have more of a impulse to buy things that you think are pretty cool and flashy, and you see a use case for a little more fast than I do, a little faster than I do. So what are your thoughts on just downsizing things? Like if we went through your house right now and you're like, you don't use this 70% of the time in a year, like there's how many days of the year 70% of that, would you be willing to just start getting rid of stuff? Or do you think what do you think on it?
Yeah, so let's clarify one thing. So I don't impulse buy. But I know what I like. But I know what I like, and I'm also willing to be an early adopter. Always have been. But I'm really good at purging. So I usually try, if I'm going to buy a new product and it's something that can replace something else, I will get rid of that other item.
Yeah.
Because I do like to have a little bit of return on whatever that initial investment was. Yeah. Now, with that being said, there are probably a couple things. Like, I mean, there's probably a good amount of wires and chargers and things that I could probably purge. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, there's definitely some other things. I mean, like I have that Samsung tablet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't use it that much. Yeah. It literally sits on my desk as like an extra screen to watch YouTube, and while I'm editing, and that's pretty much it. And it's a very expensive YouTube device. So I mean, there's definitely things. I don't consider myself a hoarder, but I like technology, and sometimes I'm just like, I work hard so that I can afford the technology that I've always wanted in my life. Like I was like, always wanted Alienware. So I saved and I saved it. I saved and I bought one, and I thought it was really cool. And now I continue to get them, which I don't know why.
Your dehumidifier.
Go ahead.
We had our quarterly meeting, and Cole graciously said he could be the host, and it's a wonderful house.
Thank you, sir.
And he was showing us around, giving us a grand tour, and we went into his office, and in this corner, sitting on this little bookshelf thing, looked like a humidifier or like an air purifier.
Not a little one.
It was
It's big.
I don't know. It was like
I have an Alienware Aurora R9. So if you look one of those up, you can get an idea. I mean, it kind of looks like a turbine.
It looks like a toddler. It's huge.
It's about the same weight as a toddler.
Have you seen?
That is pretty big, man. That's a big.
It's close. Yeah,
that's a big computer.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like a 2 or 3 year old for sure. Height.
And I was looking for the computer in the room, and my brain just was like, "Oh, air purifier. Ignore that." And like, I was like, "Where is the computer?" And so I asked. And
this thing is like has an alien head on the front of it. It's white with black on the front. It has 2 USB A's and a USB C, and it's lit up with RGB. And he's like, air purifier.
It was just a casual glance. You're like, because you got to go into the room. If you took in everything, you'd be like, oh my gosh, because there's so much stuff in it that he has.
We'll have
not too much stuff.
You'll have
it's
to
an office.
Throw up a picture and post.
Yeah, we'll get a picture, and I'll label 2 of them air purifiers, and then I'll switch the labels. And like after you guess, you'll know the right one.
Well, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more conviction I have over it. Like there's yes, I have more than I need. That's the basis of it. Like I could all day long probably just use my MacBook and probably get all the things done that I need to.
Sure.
But what's the fun in that?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on now. I mean, we've seen all these setups, and then there's places for minimalism, but I just can't.
So you're not quite Peter McKinnon.
Nah.
Which, I mean, it's a fad. Like, who knows how long it'll last for him. But it seems like he's kind of embraced it pretty wholeheartedly. Although,
I don't know. I feel like I'm more in line with what he's doing, because it's like he's really just saying, like, I have all this gear I don't really use, and he gets rid of it because he has plenty of gear he does use that fully, like, over the top takes care of all the projects he needs. I think it's like, I honestly kind of want to put you in that area. Like Tristan's starting to purge some things, which I'm really happy for him, because you have a lot of useless
you went
stuff
into a
that you don't use.
minimalist phase. You changed the background on your computer to flat gray, and it was like the ugliest thing to look at.
I still like it flat gray.
Well, it's not anymore. But you changed it.
That's more of a
wanted to, because I had to add a QR code in order to wake up in the morning, but that's something else.
But see, I thought that was a different thing. Like, the one thing that I kind of admired about Tristan when we first met was he's like, I understand marketing techniques and why things are the way they are. And I'm willing to go against the grain in that, because I'm just not going to play the game.
Yeah.
Because his phone was grayscale. Like, there were a lot of things that were very minimal.
It still is.
It still is. I mean,
well, it's not grayscale, but everything is.
How many?
All the icons are grayscale.
How many social media apps do you have on your phone?
None.
Yeah, thank you.
I have YouTube. Well, no, I don't. YouTube's built into the phone, so I disabled it. I can't get rid of it.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's a whole other thing. All you're trying to do is minimalize distractions and playing into the whole,
Yeah.
endless scroll, infinite scroll type of colorful, type of thing.
Digital minimalism.
Yeah, which I get. I totally get that.
Yeah.
And I have, like I said, I have respect for that, because I can't. And that's just, it's not like an addiction type of thing, but like, I like the pretty colors. I'm like,
Samsung, saturate that image.
I have mine on natural. I turned off vivid.
David looked at my phone. He's like, it's like looking at the sun. It's just orange. Yeah. Because all my, we talked about like the blue lights on the last one. I just shift everything orange and
burn my eyes.
It makes things a little simpler.
Yeah, which I get. But so I've kind of explained, the way that I do my thing. Go ahead. Like, I think give us some context on, because again, you're getting rid of some stuff right now too.
Yeah.
So we're playing the game.
So
give me some thoughts.
I like to save money, and if something works, I don't need anything new, even if it's better, because the thing I got works. And I don't think that's going to go away. However,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I looked at my P&L last year, and we don't talk money. We don't talk politics for the most part on here. However, you look at a P&L, and for the whole year, you feel like, oh my gosh, everything's so expensive. It's basically like, think of it, it's doing your finances.
What does P&L stand for?
Profit and loss. Yeah. So money coming in, money going out. Think of it like income and bills for you guys. If you're managing it and you have budgets, then you don't feel bad when you go out and spend money because it's allocated. Well, I keep track of everything, but I don't micromanage it. So to me, every time I have like a negative emotion every time I make a purchase or pay a bill. So to me, all year long, I feel like, oh my gosh, everything's like so expensive. I look at my P&L at the end of the year. I didn't spend hardly any money. And I realized I was like, I went through so much annoying inconveniences because I was using things that were not optimal, but they were working. And then I was like, where did the money, like, where's the money going if it's not being spent on things that are useful? So this year, for the last couple of months, I've been doing a lot of research on things that I find valuable and then trying to find better versions of it. And then applying some of your principles of, do I have something similar? Can I sell it to fund the upgrade. So we've done that. It initially started out with a desk, and we received a new desk for free, sort of.
On lease.
It was like on lease, and they let us use this desk indefinitely. So I got rid of my old one, and then started looking at headphones, and I needed something that would be smaller, more compact, better battery life. So it's like, sub that out. We can sell the old headphones, and I had 2 or 3 pairs. Smartwatches. As soon as Google and Samsung make something usable, because I have a Fitbit, which is Google technically now, and I have a Samsung. The Samsung has a better UI, and the Google Fitbit has better functionality of like heart rate monitors and detection. It's something Google takes a lot of pride in a creepy way about. Like really
it's true,
weird.
though.
But they're good at it, and it's something I want. So now I have 2 watches, and as soon as the new one comes out, it's like, sell both of these and get a new watch.
Yep.
Talking about digital minimalism, reducing all that stuff. So yeah, I think both of them have rubbed off on me. I've always done the digital for the last probably 4 or 5 years. I was just before you started working with me. I've always kind of pushed for like the no social medias and slowly one at a time.
Yeah.
Graduated 20. So like probably since 2015, 2016 time, because that would have been like in college. I got rid of Snapchat first, and then Instagram, and then Facebook, and then YouTube, and then I like add stuff back every once in a while, and then I get rid of them. But
you remember the shame of.
Well, it's usually something very specific that I need to do. So like with Facebook, if you want to sell things on Facebook Marketplace, you have to have an account. But then either they changed it or made it simpler to do through web interface, so I can log into Facebook through mobile and do it, or go on my computer. So I'm not required to have an app. And a lot of times I'd have to reinstall an app because of a requirement for something I had to do. Or before you join, I see the value in using social media for business. And I didn't want to manage it, but I realized it needed to be done. So a lot of times I'd have to have it on there to run social media accounts for the company. And now that you've taken over all those, I don't have to.
Now I have a bunch of social media accounts on my phone.
Yeah. So we'll let you jump into that real quick. But I just want to say, a lot of people comment and talk to me, and they're like, hey, I really liked your guys' post. I like the thing that you're doing. I'm like, it ain't me. It's cool.
You can totally be like, hey, thanks. I don't need to have the glory, man. It's just about keeping us moving in the right direction. So.
I always say either, oh yeah, Cole took that, or I'll let the producer know.
Ooh, I like that even better. I don't need to be called out by name.
Yeah.
It's my job, you know.
Yeah, that's the producer, man. He does a good job making sure all the content's coming out. People like the properties, really like the house shots, and then all our funny little David clips.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have found that David is quite the internet star. So if you
I don't know why.
if you go to, I'm trying to think, Instagram and look at our reels, there is a reel in there with David, and I'm pretty sure it's called David is a Savage. And if you check it out, it was one of our highest viewed reels, I think.
4,000.
Wasn't it 4,000? Yeah, it was like 4,000 views, which was nuts, and it was in a period of like 12 hours. And it's literally just him with he was wearing his mask. We were at a wedding last year, and I look at him and I'm like, are you smiling? And he's like, right? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And then and I'm like, really? And he goes, no. And that's it. It's like 5 seconds, and it just got played and played and played, and we had to laugh at that.
It's just what everybody was thinking. It was just when you see like hundreds of people wearing a mask over a couple months, it's like, are they really smiling? Because like when it's all covered, you can really only use like your eyes,
right?
To, like convey that you're smiling. And I found that out pretty quickly. So like I try to squint a lot whenever I see somebody, so I don't look like a drone, just like.
See, and my favorite thing is like, I manage the social media. Tristan doesn't really have access to any of it because he doesn't have it on his phone. I tag him all the time, but he doesn't get the...
And I can't log back in because David added dual login.
I didn't do anything.
So now I can't log into half my stuff without...
I'm asking you to do it, and you're saying no.
I don't think I'm using two-step either on Triflix.
I know you. It says 2 people in our organization aren't using it, and there's only 3.
It's a pain.
I am using it.
It's a pain.
It's not a pain. You're just a baby.
So Pixel, I don't know if other phones do this, but on Pixel, whenever you go to log in, it'll usually send you a text verification. Well, when you get your text notification at the top, it'll ask you, do you want to just copy the code? So you don't even have to open the texting application anymore and like hold down and select a section. You just hit copy and then immediately paste it in. But my point is, why can't it be even simpler where your phone, like, I think Google login does it, where it says like number 4567, you click the accurate number.
Or you just say, yes, this is me, and it does it.
Yeah, Google just says yes or no. Adobe actually has a program that I use when I want to log in, and it just coincides the code. And to make sure that you see the same thing, you don't even have to look if you don't want to. Just hit yes, and that logs you in. So there's a couple ways that people are doing it better, but yes. Now, some apps will actually just automatically pull it from your text message, which is nice.
Oh,
so when you get that code, it'll just pull it from your phone. And Pixel got that feature first with the copy, and then other Android phones ended up eventually getting it, so I have the copy as well. But
my phone is 2 years old.
It's a great feature.
It's probably newer phones are more likely to have it.
Yeah.
Sorry, David. I'll set mine up.
It's all right.
Do it the security.
I'll just disable your accounts until you can.
Oh, that's sketchy.
That's not sketchy. It's just business.
That's sketchy. It's just business.
I am the tech guy that sends you the email. Do this or else.
Hey, speaking of our business, we released a piece of content this week that everybody should go watch. The Ghost of James Dean.
Last week, 2 weeks.
It's all 1 week.
It was this week.
It is for us. Won't be for them.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we record a week in advance. So hold on. Last week, we released a piece of content that you guys should check out. It's called The Ghost of James Dean. This is one of those ones I'm just like really happy with because it makes me laugh. It makes me happy. It's just that is like the embodiment of the three of us. Like we went to complete a task and it turned into that.
Yeah.
And I'm just proud of us.
It turned into one of us being
6 minutes of entertainment.
A ghost.
No, James Dean.
Yeah.
I love that thumbnail too. That thumbnail cracks me up. I worked so hard on that too.
I'm glad you liked it.
I was like, how can I turn James Dean green? Because it was a black and white photo.
Yeah. It looked like you put a lot of time into it.
I did.
I'm proud of us.
It was so funny too because I told my wife, I'm like, I'm done for the day, and then I sat down on the couch and got the MacBook out, and I was like, oh wait, hold on, I can make this now.
Yeah.
Dang it! Now I can take my office with me. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You guys should check it out. We'll have some more stuff by the time this is released, so check everything out. Got lots of goodies. What else we got on the docket tonight?
Oh,
we've covered minimalism.
Well, we just talked about Samsung Watch briefly with Google, and we were talking about digital minimalism, and something you gotta be careful how I say it. The environment's cool, right? I know some people really take Blue certification seriously when they purchase a product. Blue certification is like, hey, it's environmentally friendly. The product is certified to not kill dolphins somewhere. In a brief way. That's what Blue certification is.
What products are you buying that don't kill dolphins? I mean, not that I want my products to kill dolphins.
Well, it sounds like it.
It's a very... I'm joking when I say the dolphin thing. It's like, it's not going to destroy a rainforest, and people that care about the environment look for this certification on a product before they purchase it.
So did green not cut it?
I was just going to say, like, why is it blue?
Yeah, why?
I don't know if blue... Someone could look it up. I think it might be specific for ocean plastics or something like that.
Okay.
But
like
regardless,
microplastics,
when you buy a product, some people really, really put a lot of forethought into, does this product negatively impact the environment? And I think that's awesome, and I think it's really important that we take care of the environment. But when it comes down to...
I think you're talking out your butt.
I've never heard of blue certification.
I got nothing.
It's specifically for backpacks, because I've been researching backpacks a lot lately.
From China?
No. I mean, they're designed in California.
Well, let's see here.
By Apple.
Some of them.
Here, hold on. It looks like maybe it's a specific brand. Blue Sign certification.
A lot of brands are using
it's a marketing gimmick.
It's fabric. Made of Blue Sign fabric. And it looks like, let's see here.
Do they not use it for clothing too?
If it's not a Blue Sign product quality seal.
It's called Blue Sign.
It'll kill a dolphin. That's what'll happen.
Well, I buy dolphin killing machines.
Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Cover upholding standards like safe work conditions, fair labor practices, and environmental emissions, especially the toxicological impact of chemicals.
Yeah. So again,
interesting. Okay, gotcha.
It's something that people that care about the environment look for in a product. And another way I use these certifications, not that I base all my purchases off of them, is planned obsolescence. Now, there's a lot of brands in the world that claim to really care about the environment and then specifically design their products to fail after a certain lifetime, which to me seems like a very conflicting or problematic thought process, because we use reuse, reduce, and recycle, and they're in that order because that's the order of efficiency if you want to like maintain something. So if you reuse it, you aren't putting any waste back into the environment. It's just going from one location to another.
Yep.
Reuse, reduce is like reducing the products or the materials that go into the product, or reducing the amount produced. And then recycling is what Apple claims is saving the environment every time you ship their phone because the battery died and they want you to buy a new $600 phone. Not just to like crap on Apple, but there's a lot of companies that do this.
Yeah, it's been
true though.
pushed because like recycle is like the last effort thing. It's not the thing that's supposed to be done.
Because especially with metals, in order to recycle it, you have to heat it up. And heat requires energy, and it's like, where does that energy come from? Yeah. So it's good that they're recycling. That's never a bad thing. However, there's a lot of things companies could do to avoid even needing to get to that step, and that is like right to repair. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too much, because I just want to talk about planned obsolescence and how silly I think it is companies design their products to fail after a certain period of time. Specifically digital products, where the only thing that causes the product to be bad is the company sends out an update that degrades the battery life, or like they reduce the life of your battery, so then you have to go get a new one.
Who would do such a thing?
Samsung, iPhone, who I can't even think of who else. John Deere tractors. You have to do a subscription model to use a tractor, and if you don't, it turns into a giant brick in the middle of your cornfield.
Yeah.
Did you watch that video too? On Vice? Vice has a whole documentary about it. That was fascinating.
I was informed of it before the Vice piece. I have not seen the Vice piece.
It's so good. Watch it. It's probably a couple years old by now, but they talk to farmers and they talk about that right to repair. That's their whole thing, because they can't repair their own tractors.
Yes. So why is this important to you? Well, you work hard for your money. We work hard for our money. And at the end of the day, you're going to spend that on something that you invested a little bit of time and research into purchasing. Or maybe you want to buy a gift for somebody. Whenever you do that, like the money's gone and you're left with this product and you want that thing to last. And whether that's just for like a selfish reason of like you bought it and it's your money and it's your thing, or if you care about the environment a little bit more than others, you should be looking for certifications on products and doing a little bit of research on the not just the product but the company to see, are they a company that is going to design their product to fall apart. Samsung washing machines. That's a whole rabbit hole, but it's really funny that your washing machine needs an update to run.
That's just silly.
And if you take the update, it'll actually reduce the efficiency of your washing machine, so that you have to hire the repairman to come out and fix it. John Deere does it too.
What did I think I bought my units in 14.
Yeah.
And they're still going strong. LGs.
Yeah. LG is one of the, you can go online and look up the more environmentally friendly or blue seal, I guess is specifically fabric, but there are certifications you can look at. And LG is one of the higher rated companies that I've looked into.
That's good to know.
Yeah. LG is pretty cool.
Interesting.
And you'll notice that they stopped producing cell phones.
I was going to say, right? They're like, now they're getting beat out.
Yeah. Right when I was looking into buying new products and I was looking at new phones and I was like, oh, LG is a cool company. And then they stopped producing.
Do you guys know one of the first documented products and cases of planned obsolescence?
What was it?
No, what's that?
Light bulbs.
Oh, you were mentioning this.
Yeah.
So tell us a little more.
So there was a
Benjamin
whole
Franklin
cartel It was
Thomas
a
Edison.
legitimate cartel between all of the light bulb companies in the world in like the 30s.
There was a light bulb cartel?
Yeah, they met in
legit.
Europe like once every year, like every other year, and they agreed to reduce the lifespan of their light bulbs because they were getting too long, and they were realizing that if they can't sell light bulbs because all of them were lasting too long, that they would go out of business. So they agreed to cap their lifespans, and they would send in samples of their bulbs to be tested, and they would be fined if their light bulbs lasted too long.
Yep.
It was
What?
insane.
It's awful.
That's horrible.
So
Yeah.
you bring up, you basically answered the question I was going to ask, and that is, why do companies do planned obsolescence? A lot of it, I'm sure it predates it, but a lot of it goes back to the Great Depression. A lot of businesses went out of business, not only because of the Great Depression, but they produced products that were well built and somebody could repair it and fix it. And then after the Great Depression, those businesses continued going out of business because nobody was buying their product anymore. You saw that with Craftsman. They had a lifetime warranty on a lot of their products, and people, well, it's a lifetime warranty, I never have to buy it again.
Yep.
And some companies are still running through that process, and that's why they're switching to subscription models as a way to recoup some of that cost.
Reoccurring revenue.
Yeah.
That's all they care about.
So if like the car industry is doing this now, so you buy a car and then you want features like heated seats, power windows. I don't think power windows is actually one of them, but
Oh my God. It might as well be.
It might as well be.
Yeah.
GPS, heated cooled seats, the perimeter sensors that tell you when you're close to a vehicle, automated driving systems. All these things are things
Android
that are
Auto.
Really?
No.
Yes. BMW.
Oh,
Screw
wow.
BMW.
You had to pay monthly
No.
to unlock Android Auto.
So
Screw you, BMW. We'd never get you sponsored on here because you suck.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, you're true.
I would
Not a fan.
I strongly advocate people put a little thought into it, because even though you might be getting a great deal now on your inkjet printer for $20, those $40 cartridges of ink until you die is what's gonna destroy your financial stability and retirement when you need to print off those photos of your grandkids.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, remember when you used to be able to, I mean, it's just like, let's use Creative Cloud. Like, remember, it was like you bought Adobe, like you spent like, I don't know what it was, $600, right? And then you're done. And now you pay $60.
$250 minimum a year.
Yeah.
And that's like for just a couple apps. But if you want the whole suite, $50 a month.
Yeah, that's
$600 a year.
Mine's $56 and change a month.
Yeah. So let's get this video a nice little thumbnail and a title. David, tell us why McDonald's Blizzard machines are designed to fail.
Yes. So
Oh, nice. I like
when
it.
McDonald's and Taylor, which is the company that makes the Frosty machines, not McFlurry, whatever it's called, same thing. Literally the same machine.
Yeah.
or
It's like
different
Frosty's
machine.
Wendy's.
It's the McFlurry.
But the machines are made by the company Taylor, and Taylor sells Wendy's those machines. And so
Wendy's or McDonald's?
both.
Oh, okay.
They produce a lot of these ice cream machines for almost all the fast food industry.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just making sure.
Almost a monopoly at this point.
It is. It kind of is. And so it's like a long-term contract where McDonald's has to buy the specific model of that machine, or else you cannot be a franchise of McDonald's, and you can't sell McFlurries. And this specific model has a lot of problems with it because it's designed for, like, when there's a problem, one, employees are not allowed to try to fix it.
Of course.
If you try to fix it, I had a friend who worked there. You're like basically told you're fired on site because it'll breach the contract.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
It is insane. So you have to call the
Whoa.
service repairman from Taylor to come out and just like punch a code into it so it can make ice cream again.
I think it's like
That's just wild.
It is
$200 an
stupid.
hour. Like,
Yeah. And it's just because they were these companies, they just made this deal so long ago. And it's like, yeah, we'll do it. And it's just like, it's a money-making scheme.
That's so crazy.
It's stupid.
That is just crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking Taylor makes some other products, and
They do.
is it Taylor USA? Do you know for sure?
It's something like that.
Because I I don't know if they make fridges, but they make like a lot of like calipers and stuff. I don't know if it's the same company. I'm not going to throw all the Taylors. Every company named Taylor.
If you have a friend named Taylor, unfriend them on Facebook.
Yeah, because they're messing with our McFlurries.
Yeah.
So yeah, planned obsolescence, shady business deals. It's so weird, and the worst thing is a lot of these companies get bought out by the bigger companies, so then it's just one company running all these little companies and making them all terrible.
Yeah, what is it, like the same company that makes your shampoo also owns like Hershey's or something?
Probably
It's a massive
is that Nestle?
company. Yeah, Nestle.
Nestle.
Or Nestle. I don't know.
I think it's Nestle.
It's
got a little thing above the.
Yeah.
I'm American.
Yeah,
There's no
Nestle,
things
like,
above
makes
our
your
letters.
chocolate.
Oh my gosh, it's a Nestle. Okay, it's a Nestle.
All right, we still got a little bit of time here.
Hopefully
just drove by
cameras. I don't think any of our cameras have these problems yet.
Oh, no, some cameras do, but it's not planned obsolescence in the way that we described it so far. It is non-cannibalistic marketing. I don't know if that's the proper word for it, but cannibalism is the actual word for a product that is better than your other product at a cheaper cost, and it cannibalizes your market. Because let's say I have two phones, they're the exact same specs, like they do the exact same thing, but one's comes out new and $100 cheaper. You're going to buy the newer, cheaper phone, and that's going to ruin the sales of your old one. So we own Nikons, and Nikon does not make any high-end video cameras. So that means when we bought our Nikons to do primarily video, you do photography with yours, we weren't worried about a new camera coming out and having better specs where they like make sure this camera doesn't go over these, like it's not this good, because we don't want it to ruin the sales of our professional cameras. However, other companies like Sony, they released the A7 III, and then they're like, well, if you want the good video features, you got to get the FX3 for like another $500, and then you want the FX6 line, which is pretty much the same sensor. Then you got to spend another $3,000, and they basically bottleneck their own innovation and put a price cap on it because they don't want to cannibalize their own market. So yeah, to answer your question, camera market does do it in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
And then I guess Nikon kind of does it because they had a subscription wall in order to get an update. But to be fair,
it was a hardware update.
Yeah, it was a hardware update.
You have to send it in.
But it wasn't announced, I don't think, at the time of the camera's creation.
No.
It was like, hey, we can do it later on. But I mean, that's kind of like a DLC at that point for video games.
At least it was a one-time. You're like, you pay your money, send it in, they enable or do whatever they need with the feature, and then you got it.
So,
but then they came out with the Z6 II and the Z7 II, which
but
I thought was kind of a slap
feel like,
in the face.
I don't feel like they bottlenecked it. I think
no, but I'm just saying that kind of made me mad.
Yeah.
So they're talking about making a Z9.
Really?
It's going to be their top of the line.
They just got. I mean, they don't have any other lines. That was the thing. It's like you have the Z series. And every time a new number, a higher number comes out, that is going to be the best. And it's going to drop the prices of everything else that already exists. So that is not technically a cannibalistic marketing. As long as they don't keep making me pay for firmware updates or hardware updates or whatever they were doing, then I'm okay with Nikon. They seem to be chill. The only other company that I would say is a little bit more honest at benefiting the consumer is probably Blackmagic. But that's because they keep rushing out half-baked products.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't get ripped off because they admit it when they sell it to you. They're like, it might work for what you need. You know what? Here's some software for free, and like they're just throwing out stuff for free all over the place. They're a weird company, but I like them.
Huh? Yeah. No, I was just watching a video on that the other day.
What was it?
I was watching one on the Blackmagic 6K, or no, Pocket 6K Pro. And the only reason I watched it was a reviewer I like. I don't remember who it was, but I was just interested because they were talking about like a more long-term review. Mm-hmm. And they like spent 5 minutes talking about why Pocket should not be in the name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Linus's short circuit video. They just did that one.
Yes. I think that might have been what I was watching.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with Brandon.
Yeah.
His massive camera.
Yeah, he's like, that ain't fit in anybody's pocket.
Yeah, you're like, oh, come on now. And I'm like, yeah, no, I never thought about it because like the first one was pocketable.
Yeah, I think that's
and
probably
just made him bigger and bigger. And like, why did we call it pocket again? Oh, that's what a pocket is. Oh.
But I thought it was interesting because they were talking about software updates that they've been having to release a lot of fixes.
Yeah. So let's jump around a little bit again.
Yeah, what do you got?
You were talking about having the air purifier at Cole's house for our quarterly meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did we blow past all that?
We blew past the quarterly.
We did. Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah.
So
we got about 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, we can keep going.
Nah.
Nah.
So I, again, spend a lot of time in the car. Gives me a lot of time to think. And we here at Triflix, we have a what we call a red eye meeting, 7:30 a.m. every Monday morning. We kind of bounce around on locations, but it's a great way for us to get together at the beginning of the week.
Shout out Graham's, Luca B, and Coffee House 5 in no particular order.
Hey, did you guys get the email from Graham's the other day?
I did not.
I got one and it was like, we miss you. Here's 10% off. Come back.
Wow.
They didn't send it to me because I still go there pretty often.
Yeah, they're probably like, you haven't bought anything here in a while.
Yeah.
we have to go back. I thought that was really nice. Yeah, that's fine, man.
Yeah, we should do that with our customers.
So we kind of poke around a little bit. And so anyways, I was like, those are usually an hour and a half meetings where we just try to get caught up on the week. But I was like, what if we did a long form meeting where we talked about really hard pressing company issues or things we need to think about towards the future. And so I was like, hey, I proposed a quarterly meeting, which this one was, of course, a little further into the second quarter, but we could still talk about the first. Long story short, we had some data too we were waiting on because we had a problem with Google Analytics, but everything's running now, so we actually have some things to go off of.
You're wrong. Google never makes mistakes.
Well, they didn't, but we did, but we got it figured out. So I had everybody come over to my place. We had dinner, got to sit and talk for a little while. I also always think that a longer form meeting is a great way for more bonding experiences between the three of us. Just because we're continually getting to know each other and figure out what makes us tick and how we can work best together.
Yeah, we lit a couch on fire.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was insane.
Yeah.
We didn't accomplish anything, but we destroyed a couch.
Yeah, I sabotaged his air purifier too, so now it just puts out smoke.
Yeah, we filled it with Gatorade.
I wonder why that air purifier's been running slow.
You were telling me it was running slow. I tried to fix it.
Right? He goes, Gatorade.
Both of those things are jokes.
Yeah.
We actually got a lot of work done.
Yeah, it was Powerade.
We accomplished a lot, which I was very happy about because it's sometimes difficult because we're three dudes in our 20s and we like a lot of the same things. And so we can sometimes we dive into the YouTube wormhole and we're just like, you got to watch this video and this is funny and check out this guy and you should subscribe. Or, we were just sitting around my fire talking and hanging out and eating hamburgers. So it's but it was nice because we ate food and we were able to stay on track. We had
so much food.
Yeah, a lot of food. But we had a list of things that we wanted to accomplish. So we got to talk about the future of the company, the future of what we're trying to accomplish, how we could be more efficient. That's David's job. He's the efficiency manager / IT.
Yep.
He keeps us going. So to be able to get a perspective from everybody and their perspective points of the business was very nice, and be able to talk about those long form. It was a good exercise for us, and I think everybody was really happy with it. I definitely was, so I think we'll probably end up doing more of those in the future.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things coming into this, I told everybody, it was my number one. I'm like, communication. I want to know how you feel. I want to know what you're happy about, what you're sad about, what you think we can do better, because it takes everybody. Yeah. It's not just one person trying to figure things out, or just hey, this is the way it's worked, this is the way it should work. I really want to make sure that everybody has the ability to throw an opinion in and their voice is heard.
Yep.
That was a
I think
huge
that's
thing.
really important too.
Yeah. And David and I had to talk about that when I first started because I did not know David at all.
Sure.
And
He's
so
just a sassy little man in the IT corner.
No,
Scared me.
I'm just a fun little guy. What are you talking about?
David's awesome to have around. And sometimes you need that impartial third party because you got Tristan and I here.
Right.
You know, we co-owned a business, and so it's like we might have seniority, but it's very nice sometimes to be like, "Oh, so David, what do you think about this? And are you on my side, or do you disagree, or what?"
Yeah, because we're both always right until we disagree.
Yeah, no, it's true though. I mean, which we don't disagree very much, and we work very well together. So
Yeah.
and we're both more than willing to be like, "Hey, yeah, let's give it a shot," or "Hey, no, you're dumb."
You're dumb. Buy a trash
And then be
can,
like,
you
okay.
coward.
Well, we don't say you're dumb. We say you're dumb, and here's why.
Yes, we always
Here's
give
why
you a
it's
reason.
very important.
Yeah,
It's very important.
yeah. We don't want to just be mean.
Then we just be professional bullies.
Although sometimes it works that way, but that's the beauty of
Yeah.
having a small business and knowing each other very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day we'll have an HR and we won't be able to get away with those things. So it's time to take advantage of it.
Well, we did. You mentioned that we talk about how we feel.
Yeah.
How we feel. Well, how y'all feel about bringing back guests? Because we talked about that at the quarterly. And
Get rid of Cole.
the algorithm's kind of like hosing us right now on YouTube because we're not uploading weekly anymore. But the thing is, we're here to like riff, and we only have so many topics every 2 weeks that we can really run through. Not because we're not incapable of coming up with more topics, but we just want it to kind of be relative and natural. We don't want to force. We're not Lou forcing topics out here. We
It's true, though.
Go bring in our $8,000 speakers just so we can make a video.
Go into our Batman hidden cave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which it works for some people, works for Lou, but for us, we're trying to.
We like the natural vibe.
We do. We like the natural vibe. We want to be, and we talked about this when we first started what we're calling this a season 2 when we relaunched, and we talked about that. We want it to be natural. We want to be able to talk about good topics. We want you guys to get something out of it. Although we are riffing and we're coming up with topics on a bi-weekly basis. So
Sure.
So Q3,
Q3.
season 3 is coming out.
So
I'm just
season 3.
improving this.
he
now.
is just improving this.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it right now.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I say we should start this summer.
Let's start season 3 at Q3, which is that's
fine. Yeah.
middle of the year.
Yep.
And
Q3.
then we had a
Kind of.
handful
It's not the middle of the year, but that's okay. It's 3/4 of the way through the year.
Q1 and Q2 are the first half.
Oh, I see. Start at the beginning.
And
Yes.
Q4 are the second half.
Okay.
And here's why.
Yeah.
What would that be? That would be September.
May's the 5th month. June's the 6th month. Yeah. So
No, it's May the 4th.
yeah. We'll figure
been a
out
long day.
We'll figure out the
Anyways.
semantics. Regardless, we're bringing.
My bad.
We've talked about bringing guest backs.
Now we
think
can.
That it's
Yeah.
optimal. We got vaccines coming out. Everybody's vibing, having
Yeah.
a good old time. And there's a lot of people in Columbus and the surrounding areas, local, that we've talked to that are very interested in coming on.
Yeah.
Ride my Harley.
Oh, I was like, what's he making the face for?
They're so
Have we
loud.
not talked to people?
No, yeah. So we are. We're working on stacking the deck.
We're twerking on stacking the deck.
We're twerking.
Oh, I don't know if I can help film that type of content.
Yes, you can. It's in your contract.
This is a family Christian
I'm kidding.
channel.
But no, I think we're going to bring, I don't think, we are going to bring guests back. We are still trying to figure out formatting. But yeah, no, we're going to bring them back. And I think we're going to we're going to try to go on a weekly basis because we'll have enough content then. And relevancy is a concern of mine. And I think it's a concern of Tristan's as well, because on a bi-weekly basis, it's hard to be relevant. Now, with guest stuff, we have workarounds for some of that stuff, but we're going to be mixing in all of it. We're going to have some content that is still just the three of us. We're going to pull some people on. We're going to make this thing happen. And we want to put more, we're putting a lot of effort in the podcast, but we want to continue to grow that.
I feel like they should make trapezoid tables. Do they make those?
You can make a table any shape you want.
Yeah, we should make
we
a
should
table.
get like a trapezoid table, so then the table's angled a little more. Because if we had two people you and me, and we
Yes.
interviewed 2 people, that's 4 people at a table. And that camera, you'd have someone's head right there, the back of a head, and the back of a head right here. That would look silly. So we're going to have to figure out how to maybe change their setup a little bit for this.
Put
There's a lot of
camera
problems.
in between each person on each side.
Oh,
Except then you would see the camera on each side.
yeah.
Just put a 360 camera in the middle of the table.
Yeah, that's great.
Ugh.
I love it. David, efficiency manager.
And
Right
then
there.
if
Dude, we got 4 cameras in here. We only need 1.
We'll figure it out.
More.
So updates and upgrades to the podcast. They're coming.
Yeah, they are. Whether you like it or not, we're bringing the boys back in town.
And if you want to come on, hit us up.
Or yeah,
Yeah,
you
we'll-
Seriously though. And I mean, we'll let you know if we want you or not, but hit us
Yeah.
up.
yeah, you gotta have something.
We could fly you out here, and by we, I mean you can pay for it, and we'll give you.
Yeah,
a
and then we'll
taco.
talk to you.
Yeah.
We will.
You can sleep on Tristan's couch.
It's not very comfy, but sure. I got relatives out of state. They'll fly in.
There you go.
We could learn about what it's like to be
Tristan's
a
uncle.
professor. He's a farmer. Let's
bring your nephew.
The
and
farmer
your,
cast.
That'd be kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Dude,
I got good questions.
Farm
I'll be
cat.
like,
I've always wanted
tell me your thoughts on pigs.
the pink.
They're pink.
I've always wanted to do like land surveying with drones for client work.
Yeah.
So we live near a very hilly and wooded areas, and I thought that would always be kind of a cool, like, find the dead wood so the farmer knows where to clear out his trees.
I am
And
letting you fly next to a tree.
you usually fly above, but
trees.
yeah, we'll get the
trees.
We'll get the racing drones that you were wanting, the POV drones.
I want one
fly
so
through.
bad. My wife just told me no.
I wonder. I don't know if they have the functionality, but it'd be really cool as you're flying. You know how, like, if you shoot a video, some cameras have the ability to, like, hit a button and it'll mark on the timeline where in the video you marked it. So that way, like, you're recording, you mark it halfway through, like, a podcast, and then when you throw it on the timeline to edit it, it'll show where your markers are. If, like, when you're flying your POV drone, you could hit a little button, it'll show on the, like, on a geo map where you pinged.
That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know if they do it, but I feel like that's a pretty neat feature. Maybe for, like, rescues and stuff, or for governments and all that, you know, like, oh, we gotta fly in our drone and you gotta mark it.
I read a headline. I almost said article. I only read the headline that there was a state or a county somewhere in another state, whatever, another location, and they said that, like, there was a high percentage. It was like 80% of every call that came in to that specific police station that they would send the drone. So, like, every call is what I'm getting at here. Like, oh, we got a traffic stop. You know,
Really?
I'm just like,
just basic stuff.
why? But that was why it was an article, because people were like, what the heck's going on here? But
Yeah.
flexing, it's just like Bargersville in their Tesla cop car.
Yeah. That's I was kind of joking when I was describing the whole situation, but it's not too
My
far
bad.
off from what people are doing now.
It's happening.
Like, I mean,
Watch
cops
out.
are using drones. There's a guy with that basically is like a Tony Stark type of dude, where he made, like, these little jetpacks that go on his arms and feet, and he can fly with it. Pretty impressive stuff. But the use case for it isn't just fun rich boys flying around. It's
Or girls.
anybody rich, honestly. Children, dogs, whatever.
Tristan.
Maybe someday. Now that I'm spending money on things that
Yeah.
I think are cool.
Probably not.
Probably.
Now that you're spending your money, you won't have any. So
Hey, how else are you supposed to get those non-drone shots so you're not letting him get in the trees?
I want tree shots. So the actual use case, though, for this was somebody who is like a physician, somebody that is a medic, can put this on, fly up into uneven terrain, like in mountainous areas or heavily treed areas. They can fly over, land within the vicinity of somebody that called for an emergency service. Maybe they're, like, bleeding out, seizure, something where they're incapacitated and unable to make it out. And even though this person's not going to carry them out with, like, the jetpack, he can at least get there to treat them and service them. And I was watching a video on that the other day. And I thought it
Super
was
cool.
I feel like we're in 2050. flying around saving lives.
Well, yeah, I was showing you some of those videos as well, where like the military was using them to like fly. They were using the drones to for like the pirates.
Oh yeah.
And they would like take the boat out, like, and then they would just like fly onto the boat with their jetpacks. And I'm like, seriously though, like if I saw a jetpack dude flying at me, it looked like Iron Man, I'd be like, I'm done.
Let's put down the gun.
Yep, just I'm out. Like you got me. But it looked cool.
They have some drones that are able to lift the weight of people, and I don't know if they're using it for it, but I'm sure eventually we'll start seeing drones replace helicopters for like the search and rescue, where you actually carry a person out of an unreachable terrain type of situation. I don't know if they do that yet, but I'm sure it'll get there.
Oh yeah. That brings up a topic that maybe we should save for next time.
Yep.
And we can talk about next time on Triflix Cast. We're going to talk about our congested airspace.
Are you talking about the 2.4 gigahertz, or are you talking about
Actual
planes?
physical, like, I mean, think about it, right? I mean, so many drones and so many then people flying and planes, and then now you got freaking Elon just releasing thousands of satellites for, Starlink.
Like, murdering the night sky. I can't even see stars anymore.
Yeah, like astronomy is going to die. So,
or you'll just be more sought after if you're good at it, because you'll be able to tell the satellites from the planets.
Yeah, except you can't see past
all them
satellites.
stars.
I was listening, so they said that they were trying to, that people would complain that they would just paint the satellites something different. And it's like, okay, so now you can't see it, but you still can't see past it. They like painted them black or something, or
so they blend in.
Yeah.
But I thought the problem with satellites was they had lights on them. So like you would see a satellite floating by.
I'm sure.
I mean, if you have a good
all
enough
bad.
telescope, it's going to show up, and there's going to be a satellite shape in front of Saturn. So it's like, instead of a bright white satellite, you just have a black punch out of the shape of a satellite. It's like the same thing.
Dude, AI will fill it.
But here was the problem, right? The black paint absorbed too much heat. So they were painting them half white, half black, so that the side that was absorbing heat is white and it doesn't as much, but then the side that faces the earth is black, so you can't see it. And I was like, what are we doing?
JFK's rolling in his grave. He's like, we're going to go to the moon. Not because it's easy, because it's hard. And now we're like 2020. People are like, satellites are too bright. I don't like them.
It's like they're free.
Gotta make them black, but not too black, just like half black.
Paint them blue so they blend in into the day sky.
Yeah. I think we should just throw some RGB on them.
Yeah, just do light shows. Just turn it into a giant screen.
Hey guys, that's the Corsair satellite. So RGB game. It's just one giant RGB fan.
That would be cool. I think that would be.
They sponsored a satellite.
I want one satellite to be RGB.
It has 3,000 gig of RAM.
Yeah.
With RGB all over it.
What is the band like? The EDM is Arcadia, the band, but like you just like some EDM concert, but like on a satellite, just blinking and flashing, and
just as it goes through space.
Yeah, and that's the podcast.
I just want them to put the time up there. You just look into the sky and you know what time it is.
That's cool.
Like good old days.
That's a thought.
You don't have to look at the sun.
Yeah,
that's a thought. Well, I'm glad.
Do a closer.
I'm glad you guys are here, and I'm glad you guys are here to check this cool little podcast out. I hope you guys really enjoyed all this. I hope you learned a little something about planned obsolescence and why McDonald's is hosing you on your Frosties and your big flurries.
Aren't they like $1?
Yeah,
they're so cheap.
I was gonna say they're so cheap. It's not,
but you know it ain't real dairy.
Nah, it's just a powder with water in it.
Yeah. It's not real dairy, but you know what is real? This podcast, and you should like and subscribe and share it with your friends so they can learn the truth about Big Taylor.
And if you watch it on YouTube, leave us a comment and leave us feedback. And if you're listening to it on iTunes, please leave us a review.
Or just have a good day.
Both, actually. Have a good day and
done.
also rate us.
I'm done. Have a good day.